Ladies, let me tell you something that's going to save you time, heartbreak, and wasted years. If a man is doing this one thing, or more than one, he is not loyal. Point blank, period. And I don't care how many sweet texts he sends or how good he looks holding your hand in public. A man's loyalty is not proven by what he says. It's proven by what he consistently does when you're not watching. If a man is doing this, he is not loyal. And I don't care how charming he seems, how often he calls you baby, how many times he says he loves you. If his actions aren't backing up his words, then he is not loyal to you. We have to stop confusing effort with consistency. A man can show effort for a week, a month, even 3 months. But loyalty shows itself over time in what he does repeatedly when nobody's watching. You can't let him feed you a dream and then starve you of reality. Pay attention to what he does when you're not in the room. That's where the truth lives. Let's talk about behavior. If he's acting secretive with his phone, hiding it when you walk by, changing his passwords constantly, stepping outside to answer texts or calls, baby, that's not private, that's shady. That's not a boundary, that's a barrier. A loyal man has nothing to hide. He won't flinch if you see a notification. His phone can ring face up in front of you without him panicking. But when he starts flipping it over every time it lights up, turning it on silent, or keeping it glued to his side like a newborn baby, that's a man trying to protect secrets, not you. Now, if he disappears for days at a time or only shows up when it benefits him, maybe when he's bored, maybe when he's lonely, maybe when he needs something from you, and then you don't hear from him again until it suits him, that's a man who is loyal only to himself. That's not partnership. That's convenience. You should never have to wonder where you stand. You shouldn't be guessing whether he's with someone else or just ignoring you. That confusion you feel, that anxiety, that's not love. That's your soul warning you that this man is not built for you. And don't ignore how he treats you around others. If he keeps you a secret, won't post you, won't talk about you, won't even call you his girl in public, then you are not in a relationship, you're in a situation. You're being hidden, and people don't hide what they're proud of. A loyal man wants to show you off. He wants the world to know who you are to him, not just because of your looks or what you bring to the table, but because he values your presence in his life. And if he's keeping you in the dark, that means there's probably someone else standing in the light. You also have to pay attention to how you feel when you're with him. Loyalty brings peace. Loyalty brings safety. If you constantly feel insecure, like you're not good enough, like you're in competition with other women or having to fight for his attention, that's not love. That's not loyalty. That's emotional starvation. A man who is loyal to you feeds your heart, your mind, your soul. He lifts you. He reassures you. He doesn't make you beg for the bare minimum. He doesn't punish you with silence or use your love like a weapon. And if he does, that's your sign. You don't need a neon billboard to tell you what your spirit already knows. And let me say this loud and clear. Loyalty is not just about sex. A man can be physically faithful and still disloyal in every other way. If he's lying to you, if he's putting other people before you, if he's not showing up when it matters, that's disloyal. If he's dismissing your feelings, forgetting your value, comparing you to others, making you feel like you're never enough, that's disloyal. Loyalty means he has your back even when you're not around. He protects your name, your dignity, your emotional well-being. He doesn't just stay faithful, he stays present. A loyal man doesn't switch up depending on who's in the room or what he's feeling that day. He doesn't act like your man in private and a stranger in public. He doesn't let his boys disrespect you, doesn't entertain old flames, doesn't keep one foot in and one foot out. That kind of man doesn't flinch when commitment is mentioned. He steps up. He wants you to feel safe, loved, and chosen, not anxious, second-guessing, or disposable. Loyalty is about being consistent. It's about emotional responsibility. A man who truly loves you is accountable to your heart. He's careful with how he handles it. He doesn't lash out in anger, then come back with empty apologies. He doesn't run the moment things get tough. He stays, he works, he grows with you. You never have to wonder if you're a priority. He shows you in how he treats you, how he speaks to you, how he talks about you when you're not there. So if you're sitting there making excuses for his behavior, justifying why he's acting distant, forgiving him for disappearing, tolerating disrespect because you're scared of being alone, you're already alone. You've just been too loyal to someone who isn't loyal to you. And that hurts, I know. But staying in a relationship where loyalty is one-sided is not strength, it's self-betrayal. You deserve someone who's all in, someone who guards your heart like it's his own, someone who shows up for you every single day, not just when it's easy. And here's the final truth. When a man is loyal, you don't need to chase him, question him, or keep tabs on him. His love is steady, not shaky. His commitment is clear, not cloudy. He makes you feel chosen, not tolerated. So if he's doing anything that makes you feel like you're not enough, not safe, not sure, that's your answer. He's not loyal. And you owe it to yourself to stop proving your worth to someone who can't even prove his loyalty. If he's doing this, he's not loyal, and I don't care how good he is at making excuses or how sweet he talks when he wants to win you back. Loyalty isn't about the words that come out of his mouth. It's about the life he builds around you. It's the quiet choices he makes when you're not there, when temptation is in front of him, when things aren't going his way. That's where his loyalty lives or dies. Too many women are stuck in relationships where the man says he's committed but behaves like he's single. And the longer you stay, the more you convince yourself that things will change when deep down you know they won't. Loyalty is a lifestyle, not a promise. If he's making you feel like you have to compete with other women, that's not loyalty. A man who's loyal doesn't keep the door cracked open for his past, and he sure isn't out here entertaining friendships that threaten your peace. If he's still texting his ex, still following half-naked women online, still playing games with women he used to mess with, what are you doing? You're waiting for a man who's trying to hold on to the past while pretending he's walking into a future with you. A loyal man cuts ties that threaten the relationship. He doesn't create secret spaces to hide things from you. He doesn't need to keep backups because he already knows who he wants. You can always feel when a man is not loyal. You feel it in the pit of your stomach, in the quiet pauses when something doesn't add up, in the strange way he suddenly guards his phone like it's a diary. You feel it when he stops sharing details, when he disappears without explanation, when you ask where he's been and he answers with attitude instead of clarity. That's not a man who respects you. That's a man trying to hide. A man who's loyal has no reason to be defensive about the truth. He doesn't panic when you ask questions because his actions can stand up in daylight. If he's inconsistent, that's your red flag. One day he's loving and present, the next day he's cold and unreachable. Loyalty doesn't come and go depending on his mood. It's not a part-time role. A man who truly loves you shows up, not just when it's convenient for him, but when it's hard, when he's tired, when life is heavy. He still chooses you, still checks on you, still makes you feel seen. You never have to wonder if you're constantly confused about the relationship, it's not a relationship, it's chaos. Watch how he acts when no one is around to impress. If he only treats you right in public but is emotionally distant in private, that's not real. That's a performance. Some men know how to look loyal without being loyal. They say the right things, post the right pictures, but behind closed doors they're disrespectful, dismissive, or completely unavailable. That is not loyalty. That is image management. Don't fall for a highlight reel. Loyalty shows itself in the hard-born, everyday moments. Does he comfort you when you're down? Does he prioritize your needs? Does he check in on your well-being without being asked? That's the real test. If he doesn't bring you into his life, that's another sign. If you've never met his family, his close friends, his co-workers, what's he hiding? A loyal man wants you woven into his life. He wants you by his side, not tucked away like a secret. If he's keeping you in the shadows, chances are he's not being honest about who you are to him or who else he's dealing with. There's no excuse for a grown man not making his intentions clear. If he values you, he introduces you to the people who matter to him. He doesn't keep you isolated or guess your worth. When a man is loyal, he doesn't break your trust and then expect you to forget it like it never happened. He takes responsibility. He doesn't gaslight you or flip the script to make you feel crazy. If he's always telling you that you're too sensitive, too emotional, too dramatic, ask yourself why he feels the need to undermine your feelings. Often, it's because he doesn't want to take accountability. A disloyal man will make you question your own instincts. He'll make you feel like you're the problem when all you're doing is reacting to behavior that disrespects your heart. A loyal man isn't perfect, but he is honest. He tells the truth even when it's uncomfortable. He doesn't lie to get out of situations. He doesn't create fake stories or play the victim. He owns his role in every situation because he cares more about your trust than about winning an argument. If your man lies constantly, even about small things, that's a habit, not a mistake. And habits reveal character. One of the deepest signs of disloyalty is when he keeps choosing himself over the relationship. If you're always the one making sacrifices, always the one forgiving, always the one compromising, that's not love, that's emotional labor. You're carrying the relationship and he's just along for the ride. Loyalty is about teamwork. It's about both of you showing up, not one person doing all the work while the other benefit. If you're constantly trying to convince him to stay, prove your worth, or compete for his attention, you've already lost. A loyal man makes you feel secure. He reassures you without being asked. He builds a safe space where your heart can rest, not a battlefield where your trust is tested every day. You don't have to remind a loyal man how to treat you. He already knows. And if he doesn't, you shouldn't have to teach him at this stage in life. Don't let loneliness convince you to stay loyal to someone who's not loyal to you. The right man won't make you question your place in his life. You won't need to guess, chase, or cry yourself to sleep. A loyal man gives you clarity, not confusion. He gives you presence, not excuses. He gives you peace, not pain. If he's doing anything less than that, then you already have your answer. He's not loyal, and no amount of potential or history can make up for the pain of being with someone who can't commit fully to you. If he's doing this, he's not loyal. No matter how long you've been together, no matter how many times he said, "I love you," and no matter how badly you want to believe he means well. Loyalty isn't something that hides in the background. It shows up loud and clear through actions, not words. You don't have to dig deep to find it. You don't have to beg for it or question it. When a man is truly loyal, you feel safe. You feel chosen. But if you're constantly stuck in a cycle of confusion, silence, and guessing, then what you're experiencing isn't love. It's emotional instability dressed up as potential. When a man is loyal, he moves like it. He's not inconsistent with his words. He's not disappearing when things get hard. And he's not feeding you half-truths to keep you around. A disloyal man will play with your time, your heart, and your mind. He'll say everything you want to hear while doing the exact opposite of what he promised. You'll find yourself justifying his absence, explaining away his silence, making excuses for why he's emotionally unavailable. But the truth is, if he's not making you feel like a priority, it's because you aren't one. Loyalty doesn't vanish when life gets busy. It doesn't fade when new temptations arise. It stays solid even when no one's looking. If he's talking to other women behind your back, even if he swears they're just friends, and you feel uneasy every time you see her name pop up on his phone, trust that feeling. Your instincts are not wrong. Disloyalty doesn't always start in the bedroom. It begins in the heart, with secrecy, with hidden conversations, with the kind of connections that he would never want you to find out about. If he's deleting messages, hiding calls, lying about where he's been, that's not innocent, that's preparation. Preparation to betray you emotionally and maybe even physically later. A loyal man doesn't play with fire. He protects what he has, and he respects the woman who's giving him her all. You can tell a lot about a man's loyalty by how he behaves when he's upset. Anyone can act right when things are going smoothly, but what about when he's angry, when you say something he doesn't like? A disloyal man will weaponize your vulnerability. He'll bring up your past mistakes, attack your insecurities, and make you feel small just to gain power in the moment. Loyalty isn't about agreeing all the time. It's about how he treats you when you don't. If he punishes you with silence, threatens to leave every time you argue, or disappears to cool off, but you don't hear from him for days, that's not a man who's committed to working things out. That's a man who uses conflict as an escape. Another sign he's not loyal is when his words and actions don't match. If he tells you he's serious about you, but he still acts like he's single, believe what you see, not what you hear. If he says he wants to build a future with you, but he's not introducing you to his family, not planning anything meaningful, not investing in your emotional security, then what is he really building? A loyal man doesn't just speak about the future, he starts preparing for it. He includes you in his plans and his life and his decisions. He doesn't treat you like a secret. He treats you like someone who belongs beside him, not behind him. Pay attention to the emotional effort he puts in. Is he supportive when you're struggling? Does he listen when you talk about your dreams, your worries, your pain? Or does he brush things off, change the subject, and make everything about himself? A disloyal man may not cheat physically, but if he's unavailable emotionally, if he shuts you out, if he only shows up when it benefits him, that's not loyalty either. Loyalty is about being there, showing up, holding space for someone even when it's inconvenient. If you constantly feel drained, always the one initiating conversation, solving problems, or forgiving things that should never have happened, you're not in a relationship. You're in survival mode. A loyal man doesn't let you carry the weight of the relationship alone. He meets you halfway every time. He fights with you, not against you. And if he's making you feel like loving him is a battle you have to win, that's not loyalty. That's emotional exhaustion dressed up as love. It doesn't matter how long you've known him or how much you've invested. If he's shown you signs of disloyalty, whether it's dishonesty, secrecy, emotional neglect, or just plain inconsistency, then believe him. Don't wait for the perfect moment to walk away. Walk when your peace is being disturbed more than it's being protected. Loyalty should feel like home, not like war. If he's doing anything that makes you question whether or not he's truly committed to you, that's your answer. You deserve better than a love that keeps you guessing. If he's doing this, he's not loyal. You might not want to hear that, but sometimes the truth is exactly what you need to stop wasting your time and start reclaiming your worth. Loyalty isn't about saying the right thing or acting sweet when it's convenient. It's about consistency, integrity, and showing up even when no one's watching. If a man can look you in the eyes and say he loves you, yet go behind your back and act in a way that disrespects you, that's not loyalty, that's manipulation. Real loyalty means choosing you over and over, not only when it's easy, but when it requires effort, sacrifice, and honesty. Some of the clearest signs he's not loyal start small. A lie here, a half-truth there. Suddenly you realize he's got a version of himself for everyone. One for you, one for his friends, and another for whoever's texting him late at night. If he constantly makes you feel like you're overreacting when something doesn't sit right with you, that's not a misunderstanding. That's gaslighting. Disloyal men will twist things to make you doubt yourself so they don't have to take responsibility. They'd rather protect their lie than protect your heart. If he starts to distance himself emotionally, pay attention. When you open up, does he listen? Or does he get defensive, shut down, or make you feel like you're too much? A loyal man will create space for your emotions, not avoid them. He won't dismiss your needs or make you feel like you're a burden. He'll lean in when things get uncomfortable. He'll ask what's wrong, not just to fix it, but because he actually cares. But if he checks out emotionally every time you try to get closer, or if he makes you feel guilty for wanting connection, that's not someone who's loyal. That's someone who's playing it safe for themselves. You also have to look at how he behaves when you're not around. Does he behave with discipline and respect, or does he act like he's single the moment you're out of sight? A man who's loyal doesn't just behave because you're watching. He behaves because he respects the commitment he made. He holds himself accountable. Loyalty is not about being controlled. It's about self-control. If he flirts behind your back, entertains other women, or keeps communication going with women who clearly don't respect your relationship, what exactly is he showing you? That he's loyal only when it benefits him? That's not enough. Sometimes the signs of disloyalty show up through how inconsistent he is with your relationship. One minute he's full of love and promises. The next he's cold, distant, and hard to reach. One day he's all about the future. The next he's acting like he doesn't even want to talk. That back and forth isn't passion, it's confusion. It keeps you stuck, constantly wondering what version of him you'll get next. Loyalty is steady. It doesn't make you question where you stand. A man who truly wants to build something real with you won't keep walking in and out of your life like it's a revolving door. A loyal man protects the relationship even when you're not around. He doesn't let outsiders disrespect you. He doesn't entertain exes, flirt with random women, or keep options on the side just in case things don't work out. If he's always got a backup plan, then you were never his first choice. Loyalty means he burns the bridge to any other woman the moment he chooses you. There is no plan B. If he's still following women he used to be with, still liking inappropriate pictures, still entertaining conversations that cross boundaries, that's not loyalty, that's disrespect. And let's talk about how he handles conflict. Loyalty doesn't walk away when things get hard. If every argument ends with him threatening to leave or pulling away emotionally, that's not commitment, that's control. That's him trying to teach you a lesson every time you speak up. A loyal man listens, he communicates, and he works through issues instead of avoiding them. He doesn't